All right. Welcome, everybody. Oh, let's all just take 3 deep breaths to help us land, center, and ground in the space here. So finding a comfortable seated position of your choosing, no right or wrong here, just whatever feels natural to you, whether that be on the floor or in a chair, but whatever you choose. Take a big deep breath in through the nose, lift and extend through the crown of the head, and exhale back out the nose to soften those shoulders down the back body. 2 more of those. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to soften the shoulders down the back body. One more grounding breath here. Remembering this is a safe space for sighs, moans, groans, anything that you want to bring to this space. It's your space in your practice. So just letting it out here. Feeling your sits bones connecting to the earth or to the chair beneath you, which is connecting to the earth. Feeling that rooted and grounded sensation in the here and now. Keeping that extension through the spine and beginning to soften and close the eyes here. Cutting out that sensory experience of sight so that you can go in even deeper. Beginning to lengthen both the inhale and the exhale. Remembering that there's no rush here. There's nothing else to do but to be here now, to give yourself the gift of this time. And when you're ready, begin to deepen that exhale, making it twice as long as the inhale, letting your parasympathetic nervous system know you are in a safe space. When you turn inward, when you turn to yourself, may it be a safe space, one free of judgment from the world and from even yourself, allowing these moments of refuge and generating that inner peace so that it can flow out into the world around you, creating a life that is harmonious and balanced. Continuing to take some deep breaths here, and then beginning to layer on that ujjayi breath. So a slight restriction in the back of the throat to create a hissing sound, as though you were trying to fog up a mirror with your mouth closed. So taking those deep breaths in and back out. You can play with the sound here, restricting the throat a little bit more to make that hiss louder, or softening it to make it quieter. If you begin to feel any dizzying, then that's an indication to go a little softer here. And let it be fun and with a mode of inquiry. Remembering there's no judgment here from the world or from yourself. This is your practice. It's completely authentic to you, no right or wrong. Taking 3 more of these ujjayi breaths from this centered, peaceful place, as though these deep breaths are grounding you further into this sense of peace, further into this moment. and deepening that connection to the earth below you. And then as you're ready, releasing that ujjayi breath here, returning to a normal state of breathing, just in and out of the nose here. Allowing yourself to feel the benefits of a few moments of breath work and led meditation. What are the shifts that are happening within you here and now? And then lastly, before opening the eyes, setting an intention for yourself in this space. Anything that comes to mind, but given the fact that we're working with cross-hemispheric integration this week, perhaps it's something, an intention about being focused or present, knowing that you have all the tools you need to succeed. Whatever it is, let it be something joyful. Not about a negative of what you're not going to do anymore, but reframing that narrative into a positive. Get some good juju up in here to start our practice. As you're ready, allow those eyelids to flutter back open, returning back to the space around you here. And then inhale, placing one hand down to the earth. Inhale, lift the other arm up and overhead, coming into a side stretch here. Option to keep that hand on the hips here, or if you're looking for that cross-hemispheric integration, getting the two sides of the brain to talk to each other, bringing the other hand really up and over here, right? Choosing how far you want to go here into this stretch, but remembering when we cross the midline, bringing a limb over to the other side of the body, we connect with that cross-hemispheric where the left and the right brains speak to each other, creating new neural pathways and strengthening old ones. One more deep round of breathing here. And then inhale to come all the way up through to center. And then exhale on over to the other side here. Letting the sits bones stay strongly and firmly connected to the earth. If they are, if you've got that one leg coming up, then just bring that torso up a little bit, right? Proper alignment is always our number one priority in your yoga practice. That keeps everything preserved and means that you'll be doing yoga for another 100 years. That's my goal. Yoga for 100 more years. Deep breaths here. And then inhale to rise back up through the crown of the head, lifting tall. And then exhale, tuck that chin into the chest. Hands can either come to rest on the earth at either side of you or come to rest comfortably on the thighs. So just allow the head to hang here. Let gravity do its thing. Keeping that connection to the inhale, both in and out of the nose. Option to stick with that ujjayi breath here. And then inhale to look right up to the sky. You can even allow the jaw to softly open. Just stretching out the muscles of the neck here. Inhale to bring that head back to center. And exhale, twist to look back over one shoulder. Inhale to bring that back to center. And exhale on over to the last side here. Inhale to unwind again. This time, bringing the hands up to the sky, palms touch overhead. And then exhale, twist and open to the side, looking out past that back shoulder. You can have one hand in front of you, one hand behind here, or the hand that's in front can come all the way over, crossing that midline, coming to the outside of that opposite leg. I'm going to pause here for 3 breaths, prioritizing that lift and length through the crown, and that exhale back out the nose to see if you'd like to twist just a little bit more. Always making sure to listen to the body for any pinches, tingling, or numbness. These are all indicators that something is out of alignment and not working in your body. So making micro movements, just readjusting things and seeing if you can find that sweet spot where you can feel the posture everywhere and nowhere. Inhale to return back to center. Exhale on over to the other side. Same prompts with the breath. Inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale to see if you can twist a little bit more, or see if your body wants to twist a little bit more. Inhale to unwind, and this time coming forward onto hands and knees. So we're gonna come into tabletop to start, and I want you to be closer towards the back side of your mat here. So your feet can even be hanging off the mat, but I want you to find a tabletop. So hands stacked under shoulders, knees stacked under hips. Gaze straight down at the earth in front of you. Nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone all the way extending to the crown of the head. And then tucking that belly button up and in, connecting to that heat, those core muscles, building strength. Even in a gentle class, we can build our strength and resilience. And then inhale, tilt the pelvis, drop the belly, open the heart, and lift to the sky. Exhale to round the spine, tuck that belly button up and in. Crown of the head drops towards the earth. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Continuing this pattern, moving with the timing of your own breath here. And using the totality of the inhale and the totality of that exhale to move with. Let it set your pace and guide you. One more round here. And then inhale, returning to that nice flat back. And we're going to go into a crawl here. Not necessarily the most traditional yoga pose, but like super amazing benefits. And what I want to make sure that everyone is doing is that you're alternating hands and legs. So if you're moving the left hand, you're moving the right knee. If you're moving the right hand, you're moving the left knee. So what we're prioritizing is using a limb from both sides of the body at the same time. So I want you to go ahead and just crawl towards the front of your mat. I mean, heck, even go off the mat until maybe you're going to bump into something. And then I want you to reverse going backwards. And one of these directions is always harder. And I think that's dependent on the person. So just be kind if like you're trying to go backwards and you're like, oh, what's happening here? It's totally natural. All right, and then back forward again. Be nice and gentle with the body. If you experience sensitivity in the knees, you could lay out a blanket here, like out in front of you, just to have a little extra padding. All right. Once you're back closer towards the back of your mat again, I want you to walk the hands up towards the front end of the mat. Nice big deep breath in and exhale. Melting that forehead down to the earth. And while we're here in puppy pose, taking a few breaths, I just want to add that if you're doing this as chair yoga, instead of crawling, you could just lift the right knee and the left hand up in the air and then bring them down and do the opposite side. So like as if you were crawling while in a chair. Big deep breath in, slide the hands under the shoulders, pressing back up to that tabletop position here. And then inhale to lift the right hand up towards the sky. And exhale, diving it under, crossing the midline here, bringing that right shoulder down to the earth and extending that left hand straight out. Breathing deep here. Remembering that you have all the tools you need to be successful. Really softening with each exhale into the support of the earth beneath you. Inhale to slide that left hand back, pressing up to return to tabletop, tucking that belly button up and in. Even if we're only here to transition, we want to give it our full awareness and intention. And then inhale to lift that left hand towards the sky. And exhale to dive under. Finding that deep surrender. I will also add this move here can be done while standing against the wall, as can puppy pose. Breathing deep. So it would be the exact same thing here, except you're standing and your hand is on the wall rather than the floor. Gotta love the adaptability of yoga, because yoga is for everybody. Few more of those deep breaths in and out of the nose. Remembering that you can use that Ujjayi breath here in your practice whenever you like. Inhale to slide that right hand back. Pressing into that palm. Returning to tabletop for just a moment, and then sitting back on the tops of the feet here. Turning here for just a moment so that you can see me better. So sitting up nice and tall, this would be called diamond legs if you're on the earth, or you could just be in a seated position in a chair. But just taking another big breath in through the nose and feeling that lift you taller through the crown of the head. And then open up the arms side to side, nice and big here. And then exhale, one arm on top of the other, coming and meeting at the midline. And then choosing here, you can either bend at the elbows to give yourself a nice big hug. You can palms back together for, this is called one wrap, or two wraps is where the palms comes to touch. And then inhale, whatever you choose, whichever variation of this, the three options, inhale to lift up. Breathing deep. Remembering you have everything you need to be successful in this space. Opening up those shoulders, while getting the left and the right brain to talk in. One more breath cycle here. And then on that next inhale, beginning to unwrap, opening up wide, side to side, turning up the corner edges of the mouth and a nice big smile. And then exhale, opposite arm on top this time, finding that point where the elbows are crossing at the midline, and then choosing how you want to embody this pose. All right. Whatever you finally decide on, inhale, lifting those hands up towards the sky, acknowledging that both sides of the body are going to feel different. Keeping those shoulders softened and down the back body for one more breath cycle here. And then on that next inhale, lowering those arms, unraveling, and then coming onto the sides of the hips, pivoting the feet forward and in front of you, and just massaging the feet for a minute here. Getting on each toe, where the toes connect to the feet. A great seated option for this is just lifting up one leg at a time to rub a foot and then putting it down and picking up the other foot to rub. So a lot of love, a lot of compassion. And as you're sitting here in this moment of self-care, self-soothing, self-love, just returning back to that intention that you set here at the beginning of your practice. Whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, whatever you want to send your energy towards to make happen in your life. Rubbing the heels, the backs of the feet. And then when you're ready, bringing the hands to either the ankles or interlacing the fingers to wrap around the toes. Begin by inhaling to lift and lengthen through the crown while pulling the thighs closer towards the earth. Now I say closer towards the earth because even I, a yogi of 15 years, regular practice, my thighs are not on the earth, right? For some of us, they're up here. I'm pretty sure when I started yoga, they were somewhere here. So it's all about the journey. It's all progress. I'm just taking in a nice big deep breath, filling those lungs with a little bit of love. Then exhaling that on out back to the world. All right, one more big breath into the nose here. And then exhale, begin to melt the torso forward. You can either keep those hands where they are, or you can extend them out in front of you. If you're feeling any tightness, tension here, use that exhale to soften. The inhale brings your awareness to that part of the body, sending that breath there. And then that exhale softens to release tension. Pausing here for 3 deep breaths, keeping those shoulders softened. So even though we're folding forward, we've rounded the back, we can still keep those shoulders softened and down the back body. Inhale to slowly rise back up here. And then pivot yourself so that the feet are facing along, the toes are facing towards one of the short ends of the mat, and then slowly lower yourself down so that the torso is laying down here. Now, if you have a block handy, this would be a great time for a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow, a blanket, your your support of choosing, something that will bring the earth up to you here. So if you want that, keep that handy close by. Make sure you can just touch the heels with the middle finger here. And then inhale, begin to lift the hips up towards the sky by pressing into the feet, the shoulders, the arms. Exhale to soften everything down to the earth. Inhale to lift the hips. Exhale to soften. And inhaling this next time, pressing into those feet, the arms, the shoulders. Gonna stay here for 4 breaths. So you have a conscious choice. If you're wanting to build more heat in your practice, then stay here as you are, rocking it. You can roll one shoulder under and then the other. Interlace those fingers and really, really press up. Chest towards the chin towards the sky, keeping that natural curve to the spine. For everybody else, if you'd like to make this a restorative gesture, you can slip up support right underneath the tailbone here. And, with your block, I would recommend either the lowest setting, which would be like that, or the second highest, like that. I wouldn't go full Monty on it. So whatever you choose, settle in. Rock this for 4 breaths. Option to soften and close the eyes, especially if you're taking this as a restorative posture. Once again, using that breath, sending it to anywhere where you might be holding tension so that you can exhale and soften that. Even if it's your mind, really focusing on that breath. Letting it guide you and root you in the moment. Ooh, last breath here. And then inhale. If you're using a prop, I want you to press into the feet, the shoulders once again to lift those hips up a little bit. Move that block on out of the way. And slowly melt those hips down to the earth wherever you were. Then walk the feet to be the width edge of the mat. So your feet are like literally on the long edges of the mat here. And then windshield wiper the legs side to side. And once again, another gesture of crossing over the midline. Also, just a nice little booty massage. Can't go wrong. And then returning those knees back to center. Hug those knees up like you're going to hug the knees into the chest, which is something we often do in these classes. But this time what I want you to do is actually cross the legs over, one over the other, and grab those outer edges of the feet and gently rock side to side. So this is similar to that, hugging the knees into the chest and rocking side and side, but we've added that cross hemispheric integration. So just nice and gentle. Returning back to center here. Bring one foot all the way down to the earth. And then cross the other leg across the thigh of that bent knee. Coming into a figure 4 position here. And then totally, this is option A, right? If you're feeling this stretch here, then that's it for you, right? You can hang out here. Or you can kick that foot up Option B, or interlace those fingers behind the back thigh here for option C. So choosing, like it's not necessarily going to bring you more heat, right? But it will bring you more stretch, more opportunity for exploration in the body. Just do what's going to feel right and natural. Breathing deep here, remembering that Ujjayi breath is here to serve you at any point in your practice that you need it. Anytime you need to go a little deeper, focus inward, show out the world around you, the Ujjayi breath is always there. Not that I don't know that I'd recommend doing it in a corporate meeting setting. That might just weird some people out a little bit, but I trust you to use your discretion. Big deep breath in here and then exhale. Release that grasp. Drop that foot down to the earth and then coming on over to the other side here. When you're ready, choosing, right? Option A, option B, or option C. Dropping right into it, fully embodying your practice. Knowing there's gonna be one side you feel more than the other. And you can thank yourself for this opportunity of connecting to the body, building your bodily awareness so that you can move with more love and compassion when you are off the mat. One more big deep breath in here, turning up the corner edges of the mouth. And exhale to float that foot down, unraveling those legs. And we're gonna again walk the feet to be the width edges of the mat and windshield wiper the legs, side to side. And then inhale to kick those knees up towards the chest. Cross the legs, grabbing the outer edges and gently rocking side to side. When you're ready to release the feet and extend one leg straight out, keeping that foot nice and active. And then bring that other foot to the earth. Press into that foot a little bit, right? And bring your hips a few inches closer to the side that that bent leg is on. And then taking a nice deep breath in, keeping that extended leg still nice and active. Exhale, pick up that knee and bring it over the midline into a supine twist. So only twisting as far as you can keep both shoulders connected to the earth here. You can bring the hand on the side with that extended leg out and over the top of that leg to pull it down a little bit further if you'd like. Extending the arms out side to side at shoulder height, and then turning the head to look in the opposite direction of that bent knee. Taking the opportunity here to soften or close the eyes, returning to your intention for this practice as a positive affirmation. Saying it over and over, manifesting the reality that you wish to be a part of in your life. knowing that you have this power. A few more deep, nourishing breaths here. Inhale to unwind, returning that knee to center, the gaze to center. Press into that foot that's flat on the earth. Recenter the hips. Extend that leg out, getting it nice and active, and then bending the opposite knee. Pressing into the earth with the sole of the foot and bringing the hips a few inches closer towards that foot on the earth. Big deep breath in, lift that knee up. And exhale, bringing it over across the body. Option here to take that hand, bring it to the outside of that leg, extending the arms out on shoulder height, and then exhale, turning to look in the opposite direction of that knee. Breathing deep, remembering that supine twists, really twists of any kind, are known for their ability to release. So if there's anything that's coming up for you in this practice that you're ready to let go of, now is the time. Be it limiting beliefs, the ideas of others, things that once served you that no longer do. Now is the time to let it go. Inhale to bring the head to center, the knees back to center, pressing into the earth, recentering those hips, and coming up now into heavy baby. So kicking up those feet towards the ceiling here, and then grabbing the outer edges of the feet or coming to peace fingers to wrap around the toes, and then kicking up those feet towards the ceiling. Now, say even if you can't quite reach those feet, you could even still just bring the feet up towards the ceiling and extend your hands towards the feet. I think there's like a separate name for this that looks more like this, but we're doing some sort of hybrid between this and this. It's all good. You just do you and do what feels good. Can rock gently side to side, kick those legs out, wiggle and shake a little. Whatever's going to be good is gravy for you. And that all feels real good, real nice. You can use an exhale to lower the soles of feet, bringing those feet to touch now. So making sort of diamond legs, that pose where we were massaging the feet earlier, cobbler's pose. Now we're in a reclined cobbler. So soles of the feet touching, the closer the feet are to the pelvis, the deeper that stretch is. So just playing with that a little bit, finding what's going to feel super nourishing to you. Bringing the palms up at the V at either side of the body and just begin to let it all go. Soften it all, surrender it all. If you'd like to make this posture restorative, if you have those blocks or pillows handy, you can just sort of kitty corner them, right? I think that's the term. So they're balancing on one edge and then propped up under my legs to support them. And this just makes it ooey gooey, oh so nice. Woo. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose here and out through the mouth. 2 more of those. letting it all go here. Beginning to really slow down the practice. Return back to source, return back to yourself by layering on that ujjayi breath here. Slight restriction in the back of the throat to make a hissing sound. All right, options here. So if you're ready for your Shavasana or you're really digging this pose here, please feel free to take one of those options. Or if you're ready to stretch just a little more, work a little more out of the body here, you can extend both legs straight out and then inhale those arms up and overhead and just stretch, stretch, stretch. From the tip of the fingers to the tip of the toes, as long as you can be, and then exhale to soften. Big, deep, deep breaths in and stretching. And exhale to soften it all. Woo. Walking both feet over towards the front right corner of the mat. And then the right hand grabs the left wrist and pulling the top torso towards the top right corner of the mat. Can keep those eyes soft here. Still that same gesture of slowing and softening everything. And then inhale to return everything to center, walking those feet towards the left front corner and that left wrist to gently tug that right hand over to that top left corner. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff right there. Inhale to return to center. And then just a last minute of moving and shaking anything that's going to feel nourishing to you. Where there's no right or wrong, just your practice in your body. And as long as you're honoring it, that's all that matters. Oh, and then as you're ready, moving towards that Shavasana. Perhaps adding a blanket over the top of you. I personally like the blanket underneath just to add a little more cushion to the spine. Or if you're coming into your, standard Shavasana pose, but you're experiencing discomfort in the low back, bend at the knees and place those feet to be at the width edge of the mat. And then allow the knees to fall in towards each other, taking the curve out of the low back so that it's flush with the earth beneath you. So choosing an option here, whatever it is, let it bring you to a total state of relaxation. Taking 5 deep breaths here. And using the exhale to soften and melt the body into the earth beneath you. And use that inhale to breathe life into that intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes, open and closing the fists, making circles with the wrists and the ankles. And then rolling on to the right side of the body here. Using the right arm as a pillow under the head. Bringing the organs of the body now into alignment before closing out your practice. And then when you're ready, gently pressing into that left hand, connecting to the earth, and making your way towards a comfortable seated position. Taking a few breaths here to once again return to that length in the spine, that deep connection through the sits bones. Keeping that head over the heart over the center, everything in alignment. Opening up those energetic pathways for new energy to flow now through the body. And then inhale to bring the hands to heart center, closing our practice with 3 ohms. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows is peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you next time.